Hi, Thomas. Congratulations. You said before the game that you felt Bayern's experience in this competition might give you an advantage. Do you think we saw that out there tonight?
If we saw it in the second half. I think the first half for me was more of a chess game where nobody wanted to sacrifice a figure on the board. Nobody wanted to make the first move and open a bit of a gap. So it was hard for us to find moments of acceleration. When we found it, it looked difficult. It looked dangerous. Arsenal found some moments of acceleration and looked straight away more dangerous. The second half, we demanded and encouraged our team to show more personality, to take a little bit more risk, to shorten the distances, play more over the shoulders and not just the obvious pass. And don't forget, it's a home match. It gives you also this slight advantage to have the second match at home. I don't know, maybe it is some percentage. We knew that we have been in these situations. We knew the stadium has been in these situations. And we pushed it over the line. It's not easy to have second leg away. We will face this constellation in the semi-final, and let's see.
Arsenal set up in a 4-3-3, and Bayern Munich set up in a 4-2-3-1. You can see Arsenal here in yellow and Bayern here in red. We got David Raya in goal, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Odegaard, Jorginho, Declan Rice, Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and Bukayo Saka. For Bayern, we got Harry Kane up front, Rafael Guerrero, Jamal Musiala right behind him, Leroy Sané. In the midfield, we got Neymar over here, Goretzka, and we got Joshua Kimmich, Matthias de Ligt, Eric Dyer, and Mazraoui, and Manuel Neuer in goal. So as soon as the match started, Bayern went into a tactical retreat. They did this because, according to Thomas Tuchel, they had to counter Arsenal's flexibility in attack. And so what they did was Bayern moved into a 4-4-2 defensive block over here. And we saw Harry Kane and Musiala up front. Bayern decided not to press high up the pitch, and instead they moved into this mid-block over here. And so what mattered was that Harry Kane and Musiala up front, there could be a gap between these attackers and this defensive line. But the defensive line, between both these defensive lines over here, this had to be a very compact zone. And this was because they didn't want Arsenal players getting the ball inside the pockets, because if they did, they wanted to squeeze them really fast. At times, this block did move up, but when this moved up, they didn't want to leave any gap here, so this line would keep this whole zone very compact. So when Arsenal attacked, they attacked in this. This is Arsenal's back three in the build-up, and this is Jorginho over here. We got Saka over here, we got Martinelli over here, we got Declan Rice, we got Kai Havertz, and we got Martin Odegaard inside the space here, and this is Tomiyasu over here. Harry Kane and Jamal Musiala, they positioned themselves very narrowly, and their job was basically to prevent Jorginho from getting the ball from these center backs. So when Declan Rice dropped deep to support the build-up over here, Musiala and Kane they constantly adjusted their position so that they would have Jorginho and Declan Rice in their cover shadow. So if a pass did get through, they would immediately press these guys. And if instead of Declan Rice, Tomiyasu inverted and he became the second midfielder, the double pivot, Musiala would constantly adjust himself, and Kane would as well, according to Arsenal's 3-2 build-up shape. Basically, what Bayern wanted to do was they wanted Arsenal to funnel their attacks on the wings over here. So if Musiala, he gets the ball, they have plenty of guys over here to cover him. They basically wanted Arsenal to pass the ball in the wide areas around Bayern's defensive block to keep it, the ball outside over here, rather than the ball moving through the central lanes. And so at times, when Tomiyasu got the ball, we saw Leroy Sané jump in, and the reason for that was it was to prevent Tomiyasu from having time and space on the ball once he moved inside. Because if he moved over here and they did actually get a pass, Sané would move up to block him. And so before he could pass to Martinelli and make it a 1v1 situation versus Kimmich. So once Sané moved here, his job was also to help Leon Goretzka over here, who's in the half spaces. And in this half space, you got Declan Rice over here, as well as Kai Havertz roving around. So the idea was Sané would press him, Tomiyasu, so that if the ball comes inside the half space, that would be really dangerous, and that's why, then he would dart back, and De Ligt over here, he would move in, whereas Kimmich would keep an eye on Martinelli. So they didn't want Arsenal to find space over here, right inside the half spaces over here. But right now we're focusing on this side of the field. But Sané also had another job, and that was in the event that the ball did actually reach Martinelli. It was really good 1v1. Sané's job was to not let Kimmich and Martinelli be in a 1v1 situation, because there was a very big likelihood that Martinelli would win those 1v1s and Arsenal would get an attack over here. Now, if they do come in the 1v1 situation, Martinelli and Kimmich, Sané's job was to move inside over here. And if, for example, they won a 1v1, Sané would, go and defend, whereas De Ligt will move up and keep an eye over here. So if there's a 1v1 situation and he does move in, he could also move back here. But then obviously, you got to cut the ball right in the tracks before it gets to this point over here. So Sané's effort was really, really crucial.
Congrats for the result today. My question is, your next opponent, the next game, what are your expectations? The same performance like today? And What's Bayern fans should be looking up to?
Yes, for sure. Like hopefully we get some players back to have more alternatives and to have a full bench. But in terms of a team effort, in terms of being ready to sacrifice and to suffer together, this is the level, this is the benchmark. There is no other way to play football games on this kind of level. These are the basics. It will be totally different because the style of Real Madrid is totally different to the style of Arsenal. We will now prepare it. I didn't watch Real Madrid so much in this season on an intense level that I can give you any details about it now. But it is obviously one of the toughest games that you can play, a semi-final against the biggest club in the world. But we're looking forward for the challenge, and we will hopefully rise to the occasion.
Dan een